Hello, I'm Jordan Kirby and I do some tutorial videos today for you for Logic Pro and Ableton 9. Uh, to begin with, the tutorial that I'll be doing today is going to be a rewiring session. So what I'm going to teach you is on how to rewire Ableton into Logic Pro so we can get the best out of both worlds. This does come with some flaws, such as once Ableton is rewired, you won't be able to put third-party plugins on and you don't get Max for Live. But this isn't an issue. If you want to use Max for Live, just bounce out the audio files and then throw it back into Live, or depends how you want to work with it. There's plenty of options around that. But to begin with, let's start off by opening up Logic Pro. We need to open up Logic Pro first. This is due just to the sheer fact that this is going to be our mastering audio station today. So what we're going to do is, now that Logic is loading up, once it's loaded up, we throw it into create new project. Brilliant. Now we're just going to drop in an audio track there. It doesn't actually matter since we're not going to be wiring into the audio tracks at all. We'll be using the auxiliary sends over here. So if I throw in a couple now, so I'll just throw in 4 for now, just for good measure. We're going to be taking it from Ableton Live. The way this is going to work is you're going to have your left and right mix is going to be a master out of Ableton. Then it's going to be 3 and 4, which will be the first stereo channel downwards. So that's your first stereo, second, third, fourth, fifth. So let's start off by left and right. We've got 4 tracks coming out and it's ascending, which means that after the first track has been selected, it will then take the next possible one for the second. Right, let's accept that. These are all being stereo out to the output here, which is coming out of the master channel, so no need to worry about that. Right, let's start off by getting Ableton up. As you can see, Ableton runs a rewire just there. Rewire slave, it's basically you get your slave, you get your master. The master door is Logic in this case. It's the program that you've opened up first to actually get the chain to start. So with Ableton, you can take some rewires into it, and Ableton doubles up as a host at sometimes, but it's like Reason will work alongside Ableton, but you can't get Logic to rewire into Ableton. So that is one issue that you will have, and it has to be opened up in that order. Otherwise, Logic won't open, or it will open, but it won't be able to rewire. You'd have to run it separately, and then if you open it the other way around, Ableton will always rewire into Logic. So let's start off by deleting a few of these tracks as we don't actually need them. I'm just going to take a audio break from Audio Animals. They're brilliant. Audio Animals are a fantastic mastering house. I have enough respect for them, so big up to them. Right, so I'm going to just drop these by 6 dB, highlight them across and double click, -6, enter, done. Brilliant. Right, back over to Logic, Ableton even. Right, so what we've got the ins and outs here. Click that, show them, and then we've got audio 2. At the moment it's going to the master, which means it's coming out of here and then going to here. So let's rename this to our master channel. So this is our rewire, not like that, rewire left and right, and this one will be our break. Brilliant. Right, so what we now have, if we take the audio out and then rewire it to rewire out, again left and right will only come back over to your master out at the rewire. So what we want to make sure we do is start it off by saying 3 and 4. Now what this will mean is when we click play here, it will come out of this channel. So let's just do that right now. Play. Yep, as proven. With the rewire, you can do certain commands within inside Logic and certain within Ableton. For instance, you can change the position of where you're playing anywhere on both softwares. If you're not familiar with Ableton, you can press the tab key to jump over to the arrangement view, or you can use these keys up in the top right hand corner just to swap over. So in here you can say from 17 bars jump over to Logic and it's following, pause it there, 19 bars, and then playing in Logic will always default back to where the insert marker is. So let's get this loop playing again. Right, so in Ableton I have my own personal default setting. We won't save this one, and this is basically my own little preset as to what I like to have on Ableton before I actually start. I don't have any audio files, any plugins or anything like that. Surely just the channels and the routings. So it's just, it is 1 to 30. It would be 32, but taking out the left and right mix, it just drops it down a stereo mix. And then again, I have that over in Logic. So let's load up this one, close, don't save. Okay, so as you can see, I've got more effects on this one, a lot more effects, and what I have, so I've got the kick ranging all the way up to the percussion, and as you can see, this is ranging from 304 to 31 and 32, which is exactly what's in Logic, in Ableton even, and as you can see that they're all named the exact same names. I recommend just keeping tidy in this respect, because now you're working in two digital audio workstations, you're going to get confused between what's what. I keep my rewire over to the left to keep it out of the way of all the other rewire instruments. This is just sheerly just so you're keeping everything separate. As you can imagine, we're treating these now as separate audio tracks, taking the EQs and analyzers, and yeah. So what we've got is, I like to start off with having a channel set up for bass, a channel set up for lead. I find that this helps dramatically. Just it creates workflow. Even if you haven't got the instrument on there, you know that you're going to need a bass, and you know that you're going to need a lead at some point. So just throwing them on will just save you a bit of time on creating tracks and sorting out all the sends and delays and everything, which was sorted out here. I have 5 tracks set out for reverbs, delays and choruses. So what I've also done is I've grouped kick 1 and 2 to one kick channel, and then the 3 snares to one snare channel, all the hi-hats to another. We've got cymbals and then percussion. This just makes everything a bit easier. If your percussion section's a bit too high, just drag it down a bit. This could be because you've got automation on the 3 here, which means that if you drag it down, as soon as it starts reading the automation again, it's just going to jump back to its original value. So yeah, this is what I do in this side. I like to have everything planned and prepared, have if you have everything planned and prepared, when you get into your creative flow, you can get your tunes out written quicker, not having to worry about, oh, I need to set up this channel and then do the routing, and it becomes a monotonous process and it breaks the workflow. So it's essential that you do get something down, a basic, even if it's half the tracks of this. If you're not comfortable working with this many tracks, it's essential. It makes so much more sense to be in a creative environment, not a mechanical one, when you're in a creative flow. So what I've done is, as an additional note, I have bussed all of the drums over to a drum channel, so I can drag down all the drums, and both the synths are over there as well. Vocals and effects, all the effects channels are coming over to bus 4, which is allowing me to drag down the effects and bring them up as and when I need to. Right, once you've finished off sorting out all of this, you want to save it. You want to be able to recall it instantly via the new window. Don't close, for instance, like that. My template, it's a template, it's quick to load up, no problem. It's my Ableton Rewire template. So to do this, we need to go to File, Save as Template. Here we go. Right, so project templates, it will bring you into a separate folder that is hidden away in the library, well away from anything that you can actually touch in project templates. This is brilliant because you can just save it. As you can see that I've already got my Ableton Rewire there, so I'm just going to cancel this. But you would save it there, and then you would also choose it from the general, then select create new project using default template, and then you can choose your default template as which one you'd want. If you've got multiple ones, you'd just choose that one. For instance, you could choose a 24 track audio project with mix of ready effects, not that you'd want to, but anyways, you can have that as your settings. You want to do the same over in Ableton. Obviously this is so it's easy to recall back this side of things, so you've got all your outputs going and your track names over to what you've templated on the other side, so everything is in effective working with each other rather than against. So simply File, Preferences, and then Save Current Set as Default. Click Save. Saved it, everything's sweet. If you start to get annoyed with this, you want to start, you're losing interest in Logic or vice versa, you can just clear it. And then you're back to default, which is 2 MIDI tracks and 2 audio tracks or something similar to that. So again, I'm going to save that because that's mine. Then close that. And that is how you rewire Ableton into Logic successfully. Thank you for watching, and I've been Jordan, you've been the viewer, and it's been a pleasure. Thank you very much. Bye.